All right, what did I tell you? The Halifax Mooseheads are doing great this season. I don't know how many times I had to tell hockey parents. I don't know how many times I had to tell hockey players and hockey fans do not listen to the press because they'll kill you out there. And what's the first thing what they did when the Halifax Mooseheads lost their first game of the season against the Charlottetown Islanders in September? They criticized them because they lost 5-0 to the Charlottetown Islanders, all because they were the President's Cup and Memorial Cup champions. Why don't we give the team a break? Give the team a chance to regroup here, why don't we? No, now mind you. And did I not say that the Halifax Mooseheads Hockey Club will do great this season? And look what happened. Mwah! Perfect. And, I'm not going to criticize the fans of the Halifax Mooseheads, but I do got something to say here now, mind you. Listen to me when I tell you this. Give the team and management a break. They just won the Memorial Cup. They just won the President's Cup. And listen to me when I tell you this. They're going to do great this season, and trust me, they're going to make the playoffs. I can't say they're going to win the President's Cup or the Memorial Cup again, because that only comes once in a while. But I'm going to tell you something. They're going to do great, and they're going to be dynamite all season this year. Now, I don't know how many times I've been telling hockey parents and hockey players and hockey fans, do not listen to the press. Do not let them make you bigger than what you actually are, because trust me, they'll go to you to get a great story from you. Oh, they don't mind promoting you, but I'm going to tell you something. The first chance that they get, they'll crucify you out there, and they got no remorse about your career, none whatsoever. As long as they get their story that makes them their millions, that's all they care about. They don't care about some player's hockey career, none whatsoever. They don't care about the hockey club neither. What I'm going to say is, I like the Halifax Mooseheads this season. They've done a great job. They were very dynamite on the ice this season. And they played the true Canadian way how to play hockey. You don't get much better than that. Now, I'm going to say something, this hockey season, we lost a hockey fan. And, every year, I associate with the fans of the Halifax Mooseheads. Great hockey community. God love them at home, all you fans of the Halifax Mooseheads. And I can't say how great the Halifax Mooseheads gives back to the fans because nobody can do a better job than the Halifax Mooseheads this year. But I'm going to tell you something. All you hockey fans to support the Halifax Mooseheads, the first thing that you guys chanted when they won the President's Cup Memorial Cup Championship, when they had their victory party on Grand Parade in Halifax in 2013 this season, they were chanting, "Do it again, Mooseheads, do it again." Now I'm going to say something now. I respect and understand where the fans are coming from, because the Halifax Moose has been in Halifax for, 20 seasons now, and they only got one President's Cup and Memorial Cup banner to show for it right there behind me. See it right there. And here's my ring right there. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. There's my ring. The Mooseheads gave it to me themselves. God love it. And, when I was, I've been in hockey for a very long time, and I know how it works. You can't win everything overnight. But I will say something to the fans, though. But they do get a point for this team right here not winning enough banners when they should have out of the 20 years that they've been in Halifax. So that's something Bobby Smith should look at. But I'm going to say is, I felt that Cam Russell, our good Canadian boy here from the Chicago Blackhawks, done a dynamite job of being the general manager for the Halifax Mooseheads. I can't say he was the greatest at coaching, but he did a magnificent job, excellent job of being the general manager of running the hockey team for the Halifax Mooseheads. Anyways, I'm going to hold this up here now. God love him now. A fan gave me this here a couple years back. He knew I was a supporter of the Halifax Mooseheads for over 20 years, soon be 21 years now, mind you. He gave this to me because he knew I've been supporting him for a long time. He wanted to give something to me because he was a season ticket holder for Halifax Mooseheads, believe it or not. Not for the full 20 years because he passed away last season. The year before he didn't go last year because he was fighting cancer. But anyways, he made me this clock. God love him. Here he is. Here's the clock. The Halifax Mooseheads clock. I had it ever since. It's been in my room ever since, hanging on the wall. Here it is. A true dedicated Moosehead fan that unfortunately passed away. He gave this to me, and I held it on to it ever since. And I'm going to tell you something. All you Mooseheads fans don't think that I'm bringing your Moosehead concerns up to the team and to the hockey fans. You got another thing coming, because I am. But here it is right here. God love them. Now I'm going to say, something happened a few weeks back in Coal Harbor between the Eastern Shore Mariners and the Coal Harbor Hockey Club. I don't know if they're still called the Coal Harbor Red Wings or not. It's been a long time since I played for the Eastern Shore Mariners in the Pee Wee division in minor hockey. But something happened what shouldn't have happened, and I'm going to tell all you hockey parents this and all you hockey players this. If you got no discipline, get out of the game while you can, because it's not the place for you. The game got out of control. A hockey parent got mad because the coach disciplined his own teammate, his own player, for getting too many penalties while on ice playing hockey. So the coach decided, well, I'm going to bench him for a few shifts. And this is what happened, which I don't support from any hockey parent at any time. If you got a kid that can't be disciplined on the ice, that's getting penalties steady just for the fun of it, you're killing your own hockey team. And I'm going to tell you something. That coach of the Eastern Shore Mariners done a great job by disciplining his player. If you're going to be a numbskull, if you're going to be a doughhead, a bully, whatever you want to do that's causing your team more penalties to the point they're losing, and it's their worst of all going out to play hockey in the first place, this player should not be on the team. He should not be on the ice. He shouldn't even be dressed in his uniform. He should be suspended for a number of period of games. A meeting should be called with the parents. Say, look, if your son or daughter, whatever, is not going to stop what they're doing here on the ice, we're going to let them go. And I believe, when the coach done this, he done a great job. And what happened here is the hockey parent decided to go fight the coach in front of the other team's home ice. How embarrassing is that to a hockey club? A hockey coach suspended his player for a reason, and even myself support it. But when you got a hockey parent that puts their hands on a hockey coach, it doesn't matter if they're a hockey coach or not. It's a human being. You put your hands on another person, you can expect to get charged or something to happen. So he uttered threats towards the coach besides putting his hands on him. Threats causing bodily harm. So the police, the RCMP detachment, got a call. Security came in, detained the parent till the time being, and the police came, placed him on arrest, and escorted him off to jail until he gets his process through jail, and their picture taken and their summons for court. Any of you hockey parents got kids that you're trying to push through the system that they got the hockey talent, listen to me when I tell you this. Give your kid a break. Maybe hockey's not your kid's thing. Just because you play hockey doesn't mean you're going to make the NHL. Not that all kids are wanting to be in the NHL, because they do, but not everyone has hockey talent to make it. Let me tell you something. That coach did a great job by disciplining these players, that player on the team. And I'm going to tell you something. Hockey Nova Scotia got involved. They're suspended. That hockey parent is banned from the rink, banned from the hockey team entirely. You got to serve a court order because he let his hockey emotions get ahead of him. They're going to be disciplined on the ice. And I'm going to tell you something. I felt the coach did a great job. And I'm going to tell you something. All you hockey players that play for Halifax Mooseheads, and all you players that are in minor hockey that want to make it to the NHL, if you ain't got no discipline within you, you're never going to make it because nobody wants you. And I'm going to tell you something. Having discipline is the greatest thing you can ever have. Now, let's talk about Craft Hockeyville on the Eastern Shore for the second time in 2014. When I last ran it in 2008 when we lost in the semifinals against Noranda, Quebec. I supported. I thought it was great. So I got in contact with Don Cherry on Hockey Night Canada's Coach's Corner. And I told him my story, I said, Don, I like these kids, I really do. I support the community, but I can't support them for what happened in the Eastern Shore. This is what's taking place, and this is what makes me sick. It really does. It really irritates me, It really does, Here we got players in the Eastern Shore that progress onto the National Hockey League. And when you look at the ranks at every player that made to the NHL from each community and each rink, they have a display case for these hockey players that made the NHL. Look at Coal Harbor Place. They got a display for Cam Russell. Hey, beautiful hockey player, beautiful fighter for the Chicago Blackhawks. Hey, Beautiful player. Then they got another one for Sid the Kid, Sidney Crosby, another great Canadian hockey player. Not that I'm a big fan of his, but he's another great hockey player. They got great hockey talent. Then now they're getting ready to put one for Nathan McKinnon. Hey, I love that boy. Beautiful. But when you look at the Eastern Shore Community Center in Muscatava Harbor, when they look at their hockey talent they made in the NHL, they got no display case, none whatsoever. They got Charlie Banfield, Robbie Banfield, Andrew Gordon, Dave Nicholson. They all made the National Hockey League. And when you go to the rink and you look at what they got to show for respect to these players that went on to the NHL from the community of the Eastern Shore, there's nothing to show for. And in my opinion, it's a disgrace. That the entire committee of the Eastern Shore Community Center, in my opinion, should be all fired. No questions asked. They say they got no money to support any display cases for these players that went on the NHL. You know, I don't buy it none whatsoever. But yet they got lots of money to support an adult hockey tournament within the Eastern Shore Community Center. But yet when you got these kids that progress onto the National Hockey League, you're not going to pay them no respect none whatsoever. I don't know about you all, but I see something wrong with this, and it's an absolute disgrace. It should not be happening. The general manager of the Eastern Shore Community Center should be called in to say, look, what's going on here? Where's our Canadian boys? Why aren't we getting proper respect and admiration of these people? You look at the Halifax Mooseheads, players that went on to the National Hockey League. They got banners. They got hockey videos, the highlights of the great hockey players from the Halifax Mooseheads that went on to the NHL. Nathan McKinnon, Alex Tangay, John Shabaska-Shigir. And I'm going to tell you something. I'll tell you my greatest Halifax Mooseheads player of all time is Brendan Benedict. Hey, I like that guy. I really do. Actually, I used to hang out with his brother quite often. I did. But anyways, each hockey club in each community should be paying respect to the hockey talent that came from their community that progressed onto the National Hockey League, because these players in the NHL is what puts their community on the map. And it works every time and they make it. I never met not one player that came from a community that went on to the NHL that never paid respect to the community where they came from that took them to the NHL. Never seen that happen before. But anyways, it's a disgrace. It shouldn't have happened. And all you people at the Eastern Shore Community Center, you're an absolute disgrace. And don't forget about it. Now, I'm going to go on the other stuff. I don't know how many times I've seen this happen. The incident with the elbow pads. Here's one right here. Good. These are the elbow pads that you got to have. Well, it's right soft. Nice cushion inside. I like to get hit over the head with this. You know what I mean? But when you get something that's rock, hard, solid. So let's say, I ain't got one that's all plastic here. I wish I would have. But anyways, let's pretend this is all plastic. Hard plastic. When you get hit, it's going to break your jaw. It's going to cause concussions. It's going to do a lot of damage to your player. Listen to me. All you hockey players out there, you're not there to kill the other player. You're there to play hockey. I don't know why Hockey Nova Scotia, Hockey Canada, the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League, the National Hockey League is not getting rid of plastic elbow pads. And then they're talking about, well, how do we cut back on the concussions? Well, maybe if you bring these in place, make it mandatory, you got to have cushion elbow pads. Well, maybe the concussion problems will go away. Anyways, here's some shoulder pads I got. Hey, look, here are the ones that you should have. Right here, look, hey. These are my old ones. They're actually 20 years old, believe it or not. Don't look like it, but they are. Now, when you see these elbow pads, these shoulder pads, I'm going to tell you parents something. Don't let your kid go on the ice looking like RoboCop. I'm telling you that right now. You're there to be a hockey player. You're there to play hockey. You're not there to be RoboCop to go out there and kill and weld your player into the boards to the point the boards are dented. And I'm going to tell you something. You guys are all Canadian, and we got to play the hockey the Canadian way. And if you don't like it, well, unfortunately, hockey commissioners and leagues are not like politicians. They got to count the number of fatalities before they bring changes into effect. And it's a disgrace. It should never be happening, but it happens. But anyways, these are the right shoulder pads to have. God love you. Don't give your kids stuff that looks like RoboCop to the point they're so big they can't move around. Because I'm going to tell you, I don't know how many times when I've been coaching hockey kids on the ice, they're so built out, they're too big, they can't even move, and I can't tell you how many times I felt like going back in the locker room and crying because a kid couldn't play hockey. And the other issue that I had was with the hockey helmets. How many times do you see hockey kids on the ice playing hockey with helmets that are flip-flopping over the head because, the parents are trying to get gear to last them for 2 or 3 years, and they'll buy a little extra big so they can last them. I'm going to tell you something. Don't buy your kids gear that's overly big for your kids to play hockey because it's going to get in their way. They can't play the game right, and it causes problems on the ice when they're playing hockey. And, that's like with the hockey pads, the hockey pants. If you got hockey pants that are going past your kids' knees when they're skating, don't buy them those pants for the love of God. Give them gear that fits. It's bad enough, I understand, it's bad enough that hockey gear costs too much for your kids to dress up to put them in hockey, and it's bad enough that it costs too much to register your kids in hockey. But I'm going to tell you something. You can't be having your kids out there with gear that's too big because it's getting in their way and they can't play hockey right because they can't move around, they can't see, they can't do anything right. And what happens? They don't make the team, disaster things happens on the ice. And I'm going to tell you something, Here's another thing that you see happen a lot. No respect for the goalie. I've seen it happen in the Quebec Major Junior Hockey League a lot with the Halifax Mooseheads and the Cape Breton Screaming Eagles. How many times do you see players ramming the goal crease, hit on with the goalie, knocking their helmets off their heads during play? I'm going to tell you something now. That would never have happened in the old days when Bobby Orr was playing, because the one thing about Bobby Orr, let me tell you, there'll never be a player like him ever again in hockey now, mind you, but I'm going to tell you something. If you ever ran the goalie with Bobby Orr playing defenseman, that hockey player that ran the goalie is going to have a broken jaw. And that's what's wrong with our defensemen today in hockey. They don't protect their goalie. They let the other wingers run in, ram their goalie hard as they can, knock your goalie out to the point they're out, they're hurt because they can't play, so they got a concussion. If you defensemen want to do the right Canadian way to play hockey, you protect your goalie, and when you see your wingers getting too close to the crease, you nail them. And that's what you do, and that's what I used to do. And I'm going to tell you, it worked every time, because every time they used to nail these wingers, these right wingers or left wingers, when I was playing defense, they used to think twice before they ran my goalie because they knew I was coming after them. But anyways, I think the Halifax Moose has done a great job this season. I told people they're going to make the playoffs. That was my prediction. I can't say they're going to win the President's Cup, but hey, they've done a great job this year. I'm proud of them. And all you Mooseheads in the back, I'm proud of all you players back there. Cam Russell, God love you for making your team lasting as long as you did. And all you Moosehead fans got to give your Halifax Mooseheads general manager and Bobby Orr, God love him, great hockey owner, a break. You can't win the President's Cup, Memorial Cup every year. But hey, you Halifax Mooseheads management got to realize you're overdue with championship banners in the Halifax Metro Center. You got to satisfy your fans, and the fans got to give the owners a break because you can't win everything every season. So anyways, I'm going to say, God love your team, God love the Halifax Mooseheads, and God love the Canadian way.